Good morning everyone, it's Carla here, and I have a quick video that I wanted to share with you. Tomorrow I am headed to the Creating Keepsakes convention in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I'm very excited. I'm hoping to meet up with a few friends, YouTube friends, as well as some local friends. Unfortunately this year my local girlfriends, none of them are able to make it, so I'm going to be traveling by myself, which is fine. But it's always fun to have friends. But hopefully I'll meet up with a few people. Sometimes it gets a little crazy in there, so you don't always meet up with everybody that you had planned to. With everybody taking classes and stuff. I do not sign up for classes. I've always wanted to, but I never have. One year I'm going to go for Friday because it actually starts today. I think it actually started last night, like with crops and stuff. But, so it starts today on Friday, which I can't because I have the child care. Which is why I need to film this very quickly. I have kids arriving. They're arriving a little late today. I don't expect anybody for another half an hour or so. But I wanted to share with you what I do in prep for going, because there's a few things that I do for every crop that I go to. First and foremost, I clean up my purse, which I'll do that today. I take minimal like credit cards and stuff just in case, because you're traveling, especially traveling by myself. It's going to take me about an hour and a half depending on traffic to get there. I do carry cash because I like to pay with cash for the vendors. It's just one way that, you know, I know that their costs going to the conventions are high with their booth expenses or traveling expenses, and then if I can, you know, help them with their... I want them to keep coming because, you know, as years go on, sometimes these conventions get smaller and smaller. But if I pay with cash, they don't have to pay those credit card vendor fees or whatever they're called, business fees. So it's just one little way that I try to do. And I'm going to be on a strict budget this year, so I'm really going just because I love to go. And just there's a couple of booths that I always like to visit, and I'll tell you some of my strategies in a minute. But this, I'm going to show you what I pack in my bag. I take a tote bag. This is an old tote bag that I got years ago at a child care conference, and I just love it because it's canvas. It's got a zipper pocket and it's zippered on top. Oops, there you go. So it's old, it's a little ratty, but that's okay. And then I take another tote. This is just one of those Joann's bags that you can purchase, because they do not at the convention allow any strollers, any rolling totes, any of that. And it's just easier for me, instead of carrying a bunch of different bags or packages or whatever, to take my totes. A lot of times I don't even ask for a bag, I just throw everything in here. The first thing that I get is my coupons, and this is a $3 off coupon for entry into the show. I think it's normally $10, so it'd be $7 for me to get in. And then they also always have a coupon page on their website, along with their classes, their vendors. I didn't print that out. They do not have the map printed, but when you get there, you'll get a book, and you can look while you're standing in line as to, you know, a map as to where everybody is. But you can get coupons, and some of them are good, some of them aren't. Some of them are worth trying. And usually there are vendors passing out more coupons when we get in line. Some of them do. And I plan on getting there early. I like to be to the front of the line because the line does form. So that's the first thing that I put in my bag. I also take a little notebook in case I want to make any notes, or if I run into friends or meet somebody new, because you'd be surprised, especially me being by myself. I'm going to sit down at the little tables and probably start chit-chatting. And I've always met a few people locally that way, so I take that. I take my supply binder, which I really probably should update. I know there's a few punches that are in here. But it's just got like all my punches, my inks that I have, some of my favorite stamps, all my stickles, just a lot of my supplies. I need to clean that up today and get that organized. I always take a little baggie in case I buy any small things like little trinkets or eyelets or brads or, you know, whatever. And so it doesn't get lost in my bag, so I take one of those. And then I usually take one or two. I'll probably grab another one of these to put in my bag in case I buy any loose paper. This keeps the edges from getting wrinkled in my bag. So I always take these, at least one or two of those. And then of course I take pens, because you always need pens for, you know, filling out door prize slips, which I didn't want to show what I also do, and I'm going to print those off today, is I do mailing stickers because it gets really crazy in some of the booths, and a lot of people have, vendors have door prizes, so I make mailing labels with my name, my address, my phone number, and that way when they give you the piece of paper to fill out, I don't have to take the time. I just peel a mailing label off and stick it right onto their door prize slip and put it in their door prize box. That saves a ton of time, and that way, I mean, I still take my pens and stuff, but it's very, very helpful. So I'll be making those today. And I take some snacks. I always take water. I throw that in there. Big old bag of trail mix. I like that. And some little crackers. And I always take a little bit of lotion, washing my hands and stuff, and then some Tic Tacs or mints or something. So that's everything that I usually put in my bag. But I wanted to tell you a little bit about the strategy of what I do. First, I get there early. Usually I've already purchased my ticket to get in at a local store, but I haven't done that. So I can do that when I get there. And when we arrive at the convention center, getting there early, I park right across the street. So I don't have to walk far. It's very, very convenient in Charlotte. So then I get in line, and like I said, I like to be some of the first in line. Just because I like to get in and out. And the way the room is typically set up, it's, like a rectangle type room usually. And this convention's gotten a little smaller over the years. The first year I went, it was huge. It's starting to increase in vendors in the past year or so, but not like it used to be. But what I like to do is I like to look at the map. And unfortunately, I should have pulled up last year's book that I have. But it has like a list of all the vendors and then a map and a guide. It tells you all the different vendors. And there's coupons and stuff in there as well. But there's certain vendors that I really, really love to go. I like to go to the dollar scrapbooking vendors. But the very first vendor I usually go to is Want to Scrap. Because I'm coming on Saturday, and a lot of the vendors have been open and shopped on Friday. So some of their quantities on discount stuff or the more popular items is very, very low. So if there's something specific that I'm looking for, which the only thing I'm really looking for this year is the Want to Scrap bling. That's probably the one thing that I will definitely get. And I love their bling. Let me see if I have some right behind me in the drawer. Because it's $1. I know you guys have all seen it, but I go through it like crazy. Of course I can't. This is some of their bling. Just this one of their strip blings. This is Want to Scrap. All their bling is 99 cents. And they have different fancy blings. Stuff. Sometimes it's a little bit more. But I usually go after the flourishes and swirls and stuff. All that bling. So I usually hit that first. And I know a lot of people go up and down the aisles, up and down the aisles. I typically don't. I go to the vendors that I want to go first. And if it means crisscrossing, it's not that bad because they always have center aisles and then crossover aisles. So it doesn't really take you that long to navigate and figure out where you are. And a lot of times when you come into the room, it's kind of to the middle. Most people go to the left. I tend to go to the right, especially if to the right is where I need to go. Sorry about that, guys. My camera shut off on me. What I was telling you is I like to go opposite of the crowd. If for some reason the crowd goes right, I will go left. It just makes, I don't know why, I just always have done that. Going to theme parks, going to a bunch of different places, I tend to try to go opposite of the crowd. That way I'm not in a bubble with the crowd going up and down the aisles. But usually I go to Want to Scrap is my plan for tomorrow. And I've looked at the list of vendors. I want to go to the Stamps of Life, Stephanie Bernard's booth. I want to hit her booth, one of the first ones. And then I also like the dollar scrapbooking booth. I like to go to that. And there's a couple of other booths here and there. I'm going to look today to see if they've updated their exhibitor list. Sometimes they don't always, it doesn't always compare from what you print out and then what's actually in the book. But that's kind of my strategy. And then once I visit all the booths that are on my top visit list, then I go back. And I typically work from back to front. And I just go up and down the aisles. And then compare prices on a certain things. Sometimes that works in your favor. Sometimes it does not. Because you might have a good deal at this booth. You go to this booth and it's more. You go back to this booth and it's gone. So if you kind of have to have a good idea of what the prices are. Not all vendors offer good deals at the shows. Some do, some don't. You kind of have to know what the market is. And you guys are all crafters, you know. You know, and sometimes you have to think, can I get this with a coupon somewhere else? At least that's how I think. Yes, I do want to support them, but I don't want to be crazy and spend more than I have to. So I guess that's about it. Like I said, I'm going to be on a strict budget. There's nothing huge that I'm looking for. Good deals. And of course the Want to Scrap Bling. Other than that, I do like to go to, what's the booth I went to last year that I really liked? There was a couple. Well, Keepsakes hasn't been there in a couple years. But I do, there's one vendor sells a lot of spellbinders. So I like to go there. I can't think of the other ones off the top of my head. I should have printed out the list. But I know Want to Scrap is the biggest one, and the dollar scrapbooking. And I do like the paper, some of the paper vendors. Die Cuts with a View was there a couple years ago. I got super duper good deals, but they haven't been back. So, but that's my plan for tomorrow. I'm going to hit a couple stores on the way back from Charlotte. And I'm hoping to see a few of you if you're going to be there. Message me here on YouTube and let me know, and maybe we'll plan to sit down and have a little snack. And I typically don't eat at the show. It's very overpriced for chicken nuggets. So typically what we do, we'd all get there and chop, and then we'd go to lunch. But I'm solo tomorrow, so I'll probably just get something quick unless I run into somebody. But I'm going to, I've never really vlogged much, but I'm going to try to give you an insight. I had done it last year, but I lost all my video. So when I was transferring it, something went haywire. So this year, just for those of you who have never been to a Creating Keepsakes or a scrapbook expo, so you kind of have an idea. So you guys can see. Luckily, we're able to look down onto the floor at certain parts of the showroom, so I'll be able to give you an overview, provided that it's set up the way it has been all these other years. So hopefully I will give you a good insight as to what to expect, and give me some advice if anybody knows any other tricks or suggestions. I kind of like the way I do it, but hey, I'm all for learning something new. So I hope you guys all have a wonderful Friday. Like I said, I better get ready and run down to the child care and welcome my kids because it's Friday. And we usually call it French Fry Friday, because I always give them French fries on Friday. So you guys have a great weekend, and I will see you guys. Well, you'll see some video of me tomorrow, hopefully. Not my face, sorry. But I will talk to you guys later. Bye.